Good afternoon and welcome to another Tech Bites edition. And today we have Daniel Archuleta, and he's going to save us from death by PowerPoint. He's going to share with us how to perfect our presentations with our PowerPoint by using PowerPoint Coach. And this is great for students. It's great for anyone who's going to be using PowerPoint to present. And so without any further mention, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on over to Daniel Archuleta.
Hello, welcome all. I'm sure if you've seen a few of our Tech Bites, you're already familiar with me. Yes, we are going to be utilizing PowerPoint Presenter Coach for today's Tech Bites. And as Christine did say, it is a phenomenal tool for the classroom and outside of the classroom. And I will go ahead and explain that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Perfect. And for a warning, I will be switching screens quite a bit, so bear with me. So, PowerPoint Presenter Coach. What is it? We'll find out right now. PowerPoint Presenter Coach. Play. Let me go ahead and just move some stuff around. Is a tool that is built in not just to PowerPoint, but it's also built in the web and is available for all devices. A little agenda with what we're going to be going over today, a little intro about me. If you're new to us, our presenters usually do a little quick intro. I'll be doing a brief history of Coach, and then I will be explaining what Coach looks for, i.e. body language, whether it be eye contact and hand movement, placement too close, too far from the screen, and also assist with improved speaking skills for repetitive language, pronunciation, filler words, repetitiveness, and also I'll be going over some resources for the technology initiative as well. So without further ado, a little bit about me. SWREC is headquarters in Deming, which is my hometown. I was born and raised here, did a few things with robotics, pneumatics, and automation. I mostly focused on that in my senior year at Andrews High in El Paso. After I graduated, life took me into culinary, and I was a chef for about 13 years in Arizona. When the pandemic hit, and then I got certified in IT. I probably spent maybe about 3 months unemployed during the pandemic with a quick flip around, got some certifications, came back home, worked at the public schools, and then the REC picked me up in July of 21. So with that, I have always also had a hand in technology when I was in the kitchens. I was kind of like whenever I wasn't in a company, I was like the tech guy as well, doing a little bit of minor fixings here and there. I've always been with it. I also have my own business as well. So technology support is a big thing for me. With that, a brief history of Presenter. Great thing, it's available on all platforms. It utilizes artificial intelligence to recognize speech patterns and body movement. I'm standing, so you're going to see me kind of moving around a little bit. Presenter does pick that up, and I'll be showing you a live demo. The Coach was developed from Designer, small kernels of its code, because Designer is also another artificial intelligence tool that PowerPoint uses with helping to create and design your PowerPoints. I personally use Designer in almost all of my presentations, and that's how they look pretty nice. And also Designer helped create billions of slides worldwide. The tool looks at several aspects of your presentation, from language you use, how you address speakers, and it offers advice in real time, live. You get instant feedback. Whether you're from the classroom or to the boardroom or anywhere in between, in or out of the office, Speaker Coach will assist in your confidence to deliver an impactful presentation. Naturally, it comes naturally for a lot of people. It's very stressful for others, i.e. me. I don't like public speaking myself, and I have utilized Coach to go ahead and give me some confidence to speak publicly. And that's another thing too, when it comes to the individual and their own comfort with public speaking, Coach is perfect. Or if you just have that student, it's their very first time up on the board and their very first presentation with PowerPoint, Coach would be perfect. And it is great for all grade levels, not just secondary. I have a quick little video here, and you know what? I'm going to stop my share and make sure I have audio. Here we go. Okay. And here's a quick little. I'm so happy. Awesome. So that's a quick little video of PowerPoint presenter, and that's directly from Microsoft. So one of the first things that presenter coach looks for is body language. A lot of it's a lot of critical nonverbal communication comes from body language. To have an effective impact on presentations, it's always good to have a positive posture. Your hands are open, facing forward when you're standing. You're standing, sitting up straight, i.e. me, shoulders back, a positive posture. Whether you're listening, you're nodding, you're smiling, you're showing engagement. Also, your paralanguage. You know what that is? It's the non-language elements of speech, like your talking speed, your pitch, your tone, your intonation, and your volume. Say that twice. And it also shows your comfort level, professionalism, and also your general disposition. There are really 9 types of communication, both verbal and nonverbal. You have body language, you have your movement, you have gestures, space between you and the audience. Again, paralanguage, facial expressions, as you can see in the slide, how they're all kind of over-exaggerated, but you would be surprised how many Zooms we've all been in, people with their cameras on, and they're just staring at the screen with a blank look on their face. That's a little unprofessional. Turn your camera off, or at least if you're engaging. I have one Zoom where there was just one gentleman who was kind of leaning back in his chair and like that for about 45 minutes, and he wasn't frozen. That was very difficult to sit through. But then again, it also shows a type of body language. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and show you a quick demonstration from the app of your coach. Sorry. So this is a different presentation that I did last month, just for hygiene best practices. If you step through this presentation, you're going to get a little partial of it. Again, I'm not going to really do it. I am just going to show an example of how PowerPoint Coach Presenter works in the app. And note and keep in mind that the app is going to be a little bit different than the online. There are some features that are online specific and app specific. So you're going to click on rehearse with coach. It's going to automatically begin your presentation. And you could see here in this corner, live feedback as you rehearse. So we'll click on start rehearsal. And you can see in the right corner that the coach is listening to me. You will have to allow it to have permissions. Normally it already has permissions for the microphone. A little introduction of myself, and you'll see here, if you pay attention to the bottom right corner, that coach is going to notice that I am reading word for word, and it's telling me to speak a little bit slower. So that's another thing as well. Introduction. Daniel Archuleta was born and raised in Deming, New Mexico. He finished his senior year in El Paso, Texas. While in El Paso, Texas, and there you go, originality, try to avoid speaking this slide. So this really helps with people that have that habit of having all their information and reading it bullet point by bullet point. If you see here, you could add your notes as well. Okay, first I exited that. We'll go over this. So 50 seconds spent in, and I only rehearsed 2 slides. On average, 138 words a minute. And you can see here that the pace is just right, and to keep it up. Repetitive language, it didn't repeat that, but then again, it was only 50 seconds worth of time. The pitch seemed monotone. Then again, I was reading from the slide intentionally, so it picked that up as well. And it also gives you your error messages of what it has given you the critique on. So that's a quick thing about Coach. And another thing to help prevent from reading the slides, you could have a quick synopsis of your point in bullets, and then you could also add the filler in your notes here. So if we see here, there's really nothing on the slide, and I have all the notes right here. But if you do see, whenever we rehearse with Coach, unfortunately, the notes do not pop up. So what you're going to have to go here is try to adjust your settings. It'll give you your slide, and this is probably one of the features that's only going to be on the online only and not the app. And if I'm wrong in both cases, then I will misspeak. So you see here, arrow options, camera chooses which camera that you want. So it could be that, it could either be, I have 2 cameras on my system. So whenever I close it out and open it again, it'll switch the cameras. But this is the app only, so you're not going to have a feedback and a live view of yourself. That is an online only. So with that, I will go ahead and take you online. And also, it is available for all browsers. It is recommended to utilize Edge, mostly because it is a Microsoft product and everything is integrated together and more seamless. So to start off, you'll go ahead and log into your Office as normal, and then you would find your PowerPoint. I've already found mine, and cyber hygiene, here we go. And it's going to be in the same place. So you up here in your ribbon, you have your home, and then you're going to go to slideshow. And as you can see here in the online version, it does look different from the app version. And you can see that already. So you're going to have different settings that are app only right here, rehearse timings and record, as well as here. It's not going to be there in your slideshow, but you can present live as well as using subtitles. But we're going to focus here on rehearse with Coach. So in rehearse with Coach in the online app, you're going to hit the down arrow and you're going to select body language. Okay. And whatever you select body language and you hit rehearse with Coach, if you haven't already utilized it, it is going to open permissions. So let me see if I could find an example, because your camera will not start and it will not record any audio. I should have been logged in. My bad. Perfect. So, and then you can see here back in the office, cyber hygiene. It'll take some time to load, and I haven't used it in Chrome, so hopefully the permissions notification should pop up as an example here, just so in case you're following along and haven't started. So we're going to wait for it to fully load up. Okay, and then once it loads up, you're going to hit the down arrow, the caret, checkbox, not the caret, and then hit rehearse with coach. And then you see here in the top left, wants to use a microphone, allow it, and then wants to use a camera. Make sure you allow those permissions, because with the permissions blocker that's built into Windows, it will not access the camera. So we are in Chrome, we just allowed the permissions, and then you see here the presenter coach. Start rehearsing. And then now you see here in the bottom left corner of my camera. So I have two cameras turned on right now. And the reason why it's not giving me the camera I'm looking at you right now is because it's already in use via Zoom. So that's already going to be an unfortunate conundrum with the system. So what I'm going to have to do is move it to my other camera. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and share the other, just so you could have the live view. So I'm looking at my current screen that is going to have the camera above it. And now that you see my screen, we'll go ahead and rehearse with coach. So now that I'm looking, should have the camera. Go back a couple of slides and then start rehearsing. So now I am facing the camera that is available for the coach. So if I'm going to be speaking to you directly, it's going to show the coach, and you can see on the screen that it is asking me to go ahead and look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and look at it, and it's asking me to move closer to the screen. So you can see in the distance how it adjusts for your presentation. And then again here, read word for word, or I could do an over summarization. Eye contact, always looking at the screen. So if I'm going to be reading from my notes over here, it's going to keep telling me to face the camera, or at least face the screen that I'm going to be presenting at. So that's another part of your positive body language, your positive posture. Facing forward, typical shoulder, your feet shoulder width apart. Not too many fillers, and then mispronounced. So agenda, introduction, inventory managing, protect your stuff, updates, patch, patch, patch. Backup, autosave is your best friend. Email safety, think twice before you click. Try avoid reading the summarize, and try to avoid reading the slides. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And then we see here the report. So body language. This is not in the app that we had seen earlier. It is on the online version. So you can see here that I have already received a couple of, I'm going to go ahead and switch this because I'm contradicting myself here. So we can already see here, once I share my screen again, perfect. So now we see here that clear view is perfect, but my distance now is too far. And then keep my gaze forward. So I kept looking to this camera instead of this camera, back and forth. So the body language in PowerPoint Presenter Coach is perfect. And then you could hit rehearse again. And since this camera that I'm looking at now is already being utilized from Zoom, I unfortunately will not be able to switch, but at least you can have a live demonstration. And then again here, we are in Chrome. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. And then you see here, same thing, we're in Firefox. And then hit rehearse with coach. It's going to load, and then you could already see right on the screen that it's this right camera. So it's with all of our web apps. Again, Edge is recommended due to the fact that it is a Microsoft product. So I'll go ahead and go back there. And let me get our slide back up. All these screen switches. So that is one thing that we have for our body language. So it is an amazing tool to help focus and to also help with your presentation with your positive posture. Now moving on to our improved speaking. Improved speaking, it's going to be it's your pacing, your pitch, use of filler words, informal speech, euphemisms, politically correct terms, culturally sensitive terms, inclusiveness. Definitely does assist in practicing your presentation. And also, it's not necessarily a tool that is only for presenting. It could be a tool for any interpersonal communications between yourself and other people or audiences. There are different types of practicing for any presentations, and everybody is different. I myself use PowerPoint Presenter Coach a few times just because I have a fear of public speaking. But before I discovered this tool, and before I was in IT, I used to practice my speeches with index cards, talking in the mirror inches away, notes, or even little cheat sheets. And that also assists with your presentations. Like I keep using filler words because I'm always just going to be nervous whenever I'm presenting. And that's just a personal thing for me. With the improved speaking, it's mostly focused on your English pronunciation. Pretty soon, there will be other languages that are going to be supported, albeit Spanish, French, and Japanese are the first ones. I'm sure other languages are coming up more, but they are just going with more spoken languages throughout the world. Also, private preparation. So whenever you're in private preparation, you don't have to worry about having another audience to practice in front of. Whenever I was back in school, I used to practice my presentation in front of some teachers or other classmates and or friends. And it's always difficult to get those kind of feedbacks because sometimes that critique isn't exactly what you need, or they miss out on the critique that you have, or they're outright lying and saying everything is perfect. So PowerPoint Coach is an unbiased AI that can just go ahead and let you know what you need to improve on your presentation. And that assists with your live feedback. Another thing that I want to mention, if you see here, you can also have presentations in Teams, and that is if you use Teams meetings. So you could practice your PowerPoint Coach in Teams and meetings as well. So unfortunately, since this is not a team meet, it will not allow me to go ahead and go to those steps. But at the very least, that tool is there. And also, if you do open your presentations or any of your documents or PowerPoint presentations in Teams, instead of having them open externally, it is also built in. So with that being said, let's see if there's any other cool little trick I can show you here with Presenter Coach. Let me see if I can find it in Teams online, actually. I don't have any of my files here. Let me see where. At least it wasn't like this morning where I had actual tech issues. So you see here, we're in Teams where it's open, and then we could go into slideshow. And it's not there. That is correct, because you would have to be in the meeting. I was correct. So it's not going to be in there unless you are actively live in the meeting. So again, we'll go back to slideshow, present in Teams. And then join a meeting to present. So you see, you still regardless would have to be in a Teams meeting to utilize the Teams function. But as you can see through that pathway, how I was able to do that. And then it's going to be doing the same thing here. So with that being said, let me see, do we have currently any questions for PowerPoint Presenter Coach?
I have no questions for you in the chat. Again, this is a fabulous tool and resource, not only for teachers and administrators that are presenting to different people and different audiences, but for students as well. This is a fabulous tool where students can get comfortable with presenting in front of their fellow students. It's great for even adults, because a lot of adults are intimidated by speaking in front of other people as well. So this is a great opportunity. I love that real-time feedback whenever you're presenting, and it'll automatically start telling you when you're going too fast or too many ums and ahs, and it's a great tool. So Daniel, thank you so much for presenting this to our audience. It is a fabulous tool, and although some of the features are not available for the app itself on your desktop, it is available online. And of course, PowerPoint Online is free for everyone. So it is a tool that can be easily used by everyone. Every student has access to it in their labs or on their devices that they have. So thank you for bringing this to our awareness, and hopefully everyone can have a chance to use this and be a better presenter in their classes or even in their department meetings, things throughout. So we want to thank everyone for being a part of Tech Bites, and hope that we can convince you to come back again and catch our Tech Bites on our YouTube channel. So thanks again for joining us. Thanks again, Daniel, for your information, and we hope to see everyone back here again real soon.
Awesome, perfect. So with that, with our Tech Bites, I do want to talk a little bit about our technology initiative. I know it was a little bit on the short side for PowerPoint Presenter, but I would also like to begin advertising and marketing out for everyone that all RECs are going to be doing professional training and developments. So here are our resources.
While he's getting that to load, all of the RECs in New Mexico are trying to put these together so that you have some valuable professional development. And these are not going to be polished and perfect. This is going to be like going down the hall to your teacher down the hall that you turn to for some help with something. And so these are great resources just from your fellow teachers, and just think of these as your teachers down the hall, but all the way across the state. So these are all going to be fabulous, but not perfect.
As we all are human. Right here on the left in the blue-ish turquoise, I'll call it turquoise. In the turquoise side, we have our Tech Bites. Ultimately, the whole state is going to be Tech Bits regardless. And we have our schedule. Our next Tech Bites is going to be on the 31st with integrating Nearpod into Canvas. And then you can see here we have just our essential next upcoming sessions. And then right here on the right-hand side, you also see the rest of the region right here. You have our archives, we have our YouTube, and then if you click on the Show Me Future Topics and then wait a little bit after it loads, you will see the full schedule that we have for the state and all of the other RECs as well. So this is just one major collaboration for professional development that we are offering free statewide. And then if you can see here in the turquoise, that is going to be region 10. Green is region 9, and then everything else is going to be 1 through 8. You see here we have region 8 that have are going to be doing one on the 13th. And then we also have 6 and 4 as well. And all of us are utilizing Google, Microsoft products. Some are doing Adobe for region 6, Excel as well with region 1. It's just a full-on professional development that we are offering statewide. And then if we go back here, links are included in the PowerPoint as well. And if you go here, you have, like I said, our archives and all the information that we need to provide for you. And then here are the websites as well for where you could find this information. And once that loads, and then you see here, this is the Southwest, our region 10, Tech Bytes. It's going to be right there. And the lunch series, both of these links will take you to the same place. And then also in region 9s as well.
And with the archive sessions, whenever you go to the archive sessions, if there are handouts and PowerPoints available, you have access to that as well. And so you can have all of those resources at your fingertips as well. And then, of course, the Tech Bytes and the different tech bits record all of our sessions so that you can go back to these. Not everyone can meet the schedules that we all have tried to put together. And so we do record them so that you can go back and get those valuable recordings and be able to utilize them as well. And so we have YouTube channels that most of the different RECs are starting to utilize. And so you can get access to those recordings as well. So lots of different areas where you can take advantage of some of this free professional development by teachers, for teachers throughout the state. And we hope that you will take advantage of that. So again, we want to thank you for joining us. And we hope that you will come back and find some topics that you enjoy, whether it be from our REC or maybe one of our other RECs as well. So come back and join us again. And these recorded sessions are generally back onto the YouTube channels within a day or so. So if you missed one or you need to have a refresher, they are always going to be up there. So subscribe to our channel and keep on coming back. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.